All right, Shalom. First and foremost, gonna give all glory and praises to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the apostle and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, salutations to the men that are pushing the truth. And Shalom to the elect. Just finna get into a quick video, quick lesson. All right, basically on the Motb. We serving Yahweh Hashem, Yahushua. We're gonna be tried too, and we know that. That's why Apostle Paul, he said what? That we're not children of the darkness, but children of light. We've been informed by the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah of what's to come. All right. So I'm gonna get this Revelations 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So see. So this is about to be a trial for the whole world. All right. Because Esau, even so-called white men, they're going to implement this microchip. All right, which is the mark of the beast. All right, and it's a great punishment for taking it. It's a great punishment for taking that Motb. All right, you're going to be left here in Babylon the Great, aka America. If you're here in America, you take the chip. You're going to be left here in America to fill the nuclear missiles. All right, and we know that. But what it says that it's gonna be to try them. All right, that dwell upon the earth. So see, this is gonna be a trial period. All right. That's why let me get something real quick. Sirach 2. It'll load up. Sirach 2 and verse I can't even see it. I gotta look it up. So like it. Sirach 2 and verse 16. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. Yep. And that's the elect right now. All right. The elect is the ones that seeking what's pleasing to Yahweh Shem Shah. All right. They're the ones that's out there on the highways and byways teaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Shem Shah. All right. Living a lifestyle, behind closed doors, that's acceptable towards Yahweh Shem Shah. All right. It says, verse 17, they that fear the Lord will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight. All right. And yeah, we know this is about to come. All right, so therefore, what we prepare our mind for these days to come. All right, what's one of the here? Let's get this too, because they're gonna cause. Basically, you're not gonna be able to eat. You're not gonna. Basically, they're gonna take away the necessities of life. And make it hard to get. Here, I'm gonna get this real quick, actually. Second Ezra 9:20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it. And see, peril goes into dangers. All right, so dangers is gonna happen because of the plans. Stretch. Because of the plans of Esau, Edom, so-called white man. All right, because them pushing this Motb and making it mandatory. All right, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna push people to get it by what? Manufacturing, famines. All right, and that's gonna cause people to take this Motb. Because they're gonna see that as the only way out. But for us, we're gonna be like, hey, this is supposed to happen. And one of the preparations that we got in our mind is this. Let me see. 2 Ezra 16 and verse. It might be up. Yep. 40. Oh, my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So see, we understand that, hey, we might not have, we might not be able to dwell in a house, comfortable. We might have to be roaming throughout, the the area. All right. We might not, hey, we understand that, hey, we might not have a place to stay, which is cool because what? This is all the proving grounds, The Lord, as it says in Sirach, the 6th chapter, it talks about what? Here, let's get that. Sirach 6 and verse 7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first and be not hasty to credit him. And see, the Lord is about to give us the kingdom of heaven. All right. Anything our hearts can desire, he's about to give it to us. All right. But what? He's not just finna give it to a janky ass nigga that's not trustworthy. He really don't believe. Nah. So he's gonna separate the men from the boys, by testing us. And best believe that if you can't get through little tests now, if you can't get through these little tests now, as the scripture say, what is a light affliction? If you can't get through things now, you're getting all weak and shit, and you're not, repenting from it. Hey, I don't know what to say about, in these times to come, because hey, we're coming into some shit that's about to be terrible out here. We're about to see mass death. All right. The spirit of death is about to be out here, So yeah, hey. That's why in 2 Ezra 14. Let's get that too. 2 Ezra 14 and verse 14. Let go from thee mortal thoughts. Cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature. And yeah, because what? These people in the world, they worry about, as Yahweh Shai said, what? They roughly paraphrasing, he talks about how they worry about, what they're going to eat, their clothing, Here, let me find that actually too. Gent. Oh, nah, I don't forget how it's worded. Look at that 441 though. It might be Matthew 6. Yep. Matthew 6 and verse 31. Therefore take no thought, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or wherewithal shall we be clothed? For after all these things do the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth that ye have need of all things. But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh Shem Shah and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. And yeah, so see. So hey, that's not, this life right now, yeah, we basically you get in, get out. You do what you gotta do, But after that, you're not out here, constantly worrying about money, in that spirit. That's what these people of the world seek after, But us who has a greater calling, we worry about Yahweh Shem El Shah. We worry about, You know, if our spirits is right with Yahweh Shem Shah, you know. And best believe, hey, just like you just said, you know, the Lord knows, hey, Yahweh knows everything. He knows everything. He knows if we need this, if we need that, if we don't need this, you know, he knows everything, you know. The Lord ain't just up there, not looking over us, you know. In 2 Ezra 14 verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. All right, so yeah, hey, we're coming into some, some great evil times. All right, especially when this Motb is pushed. All right, made mandatory. All right, matter of fact, I had a dream. You know, in the midst of the dream, I was in this apartment complex. I was outside. It was the nighttime, and next thing you know, it was just basically a whole bunch of surveillance, trucks and little cars, going throughout the apartment complex, basically showing to me that it was martial law. Martial law is being implemented, because it was a whole bunch of them Tesla trucks, but in this, in my dream, I was like, nah, those are robots controlling that shit, And they had little cars just walking, or not walking around, but driving around, patrolling the area, And they had sensors around, so the place was just fully secured, patrolled, And these are the times that we're coming into, Scriptures talking about how a man shall, let's get that. 2 Ezra 16 verse, where is it at? Is it 15? Yep. 2 Ezra 15 verse 17. And man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And yeah, that's what that dream was explaining to me. I didn't see nobody else, but I was basically. And another thing too, in the dream, I was like, I was being cautious, but at the same time, them trucks and shit, they really couldn't see me. I was like very close to some of them, but me in the dream, I was still being cautious just in case, but they couldn't detect me, and best believe, hey, for us, Lord willing, I'm part of that number, I'm a true servant of the Lord, we're going to be protected in all types of manners, it's going to be, so beautiful how we're going to be protected, and just, that hedge that's going to be over us, because, hey, these niggas in the world, they're not going to have a hedge. A lot of niggas is about to die. The Lord got a lot of niggas slotted to die to famine, the sword, cannibalism, all right, all types of crazy shit, getting raped to death, all that, But for us, hey, that's why it's important to stay in this truth, and to, keep your spirit up in this truth, because, hey, yeah, right now, we're going through things, we're lacking certain things that we desire or whatever. But hey, it's all for the betterment of ourselves, all right? And it's all to prove to the Lord that what we want to be protected in these times, So So here, Psalms 91 and verse 1, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Yep. And look, I was reading the book of Jeremiah, basically when he was telling, when he was telling Jake to, not to war with Nebuchadnezzar and them, basically surrender themselves to them, but what? Jake didn't want to listen. They talked shit, cast him into I believe it was some type of whale, and, but at the same time, he went through that and the Lord was with him, The Lord was with him, all right? The Lord sent somebody to grab him up out of there, all right? And then once Nebuchadnezzar besieged, Jake, it was told from Nebuchadnezzar to the captain of Nebuchadnezzar's army, like, hey, tell Jeremiah that, hey, you could, basically he could do whatever he want freely, that and he was given riches, all right. So hey, and it was all because he kept his trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. He didn't buck up against the Lord once he was put in a certain situation. He didn't buck up once he got thrown into that, dungeon or whatever. He got, bound. He didn't buck up against the Lord like, Lord, why you allowing them to do this to me? I'm preaching your word. Nah, he ain't buck up, but rather maintain his faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And that's how, we got to be, all right? Verse 2, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by day, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. So see, we're about to see a lot of death. All right, death is going to be all around us. But hey, as long as we maintain in this truth, hey, we're going to have that, that thawah, that exempt from judgment mark. All right. And it's going to be, clear that who the Lord is dealing with, It's going to be very clear who the Lord is dealing with in these times to come, all right? So, hey, that was pretty much it. I was just really going off the spirit, So, hey, we just got to keep on maintaining in this truth, all right? And let's believe the Lord is going to, deliver us, all right? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Going to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the apostle and elders, great millstone. Peace, citations to the men as I pushing the truth. Shalom to elect, shalom.